Good evening, everyone. My name is Oseme, and I'll be taking the first half of the AI Essential session. So I'll share my slides now. Let me share my screen. Okay. So can we all see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Let's begin. So this is going to be our table of content for my part of the session. What I'm going to be talking about. We'll delve into introduction of what AI is all about, the types of AI that we have, the techniques of AI application, and some buzzwords. So let's go. Introduction. What is AI? I'm very sure if I ask anybody what is AI randomly, the first thing the person is going to mention is ChatGPT. That's obviously the first AI that comes to mind. Well, not wrong, but that's an example. So, AI, artificial intelligence, refers to the development of computer systems capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. So, it's just like they're helping us to automate our tasks. These tasks include learning, reasoning, problem solving, perception, language understanding. All of you might be like, how can we use AI to learn? Well, that is one of the most important ways to use AI. For example, as a student, instead of just giving AI my assignment, I am confused with a particular topic. What can I do? How can I make use of AI? I could give AI an example of what I'm facing challenges with, or I can ask AI questions about that topic. Hence, I am learning with AI and also leveraging AI. It's not taking complete control of me. Instead, I am learning. So now let's go into the types of AI that we have. There are two main types of AI. One is the narrow AI or the weak AI, and the second is the general or the strong AI. So the narrow AI, these are the types of AI that perform a particular type of job. They perform a particular type of job. What do I mean by that? I mean, for example, when you're playing chess, the AI that plays chess with you, that is what it has been trained to do. It has been trained on data on how to play chess. So if you try to use that AI for something else, maybe another type of work, it won't work. Why? It is a narrow or a weak AI. It is only trained for that particular type of job. It can only perform chess. Now, the strong or the general AI, this is the type of AI that has all abilities. It has all domain knowledge. It can perform all types of tasks. So based on what we have on the screen, you can see AI with human-like cognitive abilities, capable of understanding and performing any intellectual task that a human can do. Meaning anything that you can do, a general or strong AI can do the same. So this is the particular type of AI that scientists are working towards. So the next thing is our techniques of AI. So normally people feel, oh, ML, that's machine learning, sorry, deep learning, all are just types of AI. Well, they are techniques of AI. So I've listed out some of the techniques, the most popular ones. The first one is expert systems. So expert systems are systems that have been designed with human, or should I say expert knowledge, human expert knowledge, to help non-expert. For example, I am a non-expert in the tech of field, in the field of tech, sorry, non-expert. So expert systems are the ones that have this tech knowledge to help a non-expert like me. They have the expert knowledge of it. So they mimic human decisions making use of rule-based system. So that's what they do. They basically have expert knowledge. It's like they're getting knowledge, and experts will feed in the system with what they have, with their knowledge, and a non-expert can make use of this knowledge. Now, the next one is neural networks. So, neural networks is actually a subset of deep learning. Neural network mimics human brain, how the human works, human brain structure to learn and represent complex relationship. It basically mimics how human brain works, Like I said, it's a subset of deep learning. What is deep learning? So deep learning involves how machine are able to feed on data and learn and develop their own, should I'll call it patterns, develop their own rules. It's actually a machine learning, it's machine learning that is inspired by the structure of the human brain, how the human brain works. So for example, how your phone groups the images on your phone, like the images are grouped into folders based on their location. For example, you have a folder that is for your screenshot, a folder that is from your WhatsApp images, a folder that is from your WhatsApp documents. That is how um, that's how neural networks work. They feed on data and try to, learn from those data. Then the next thing is robotics. Robotics combines that AI with physical machines to perform tasks autonomously. I think we all know what robots are. For example, one of the home of robots is China. So they have robots for different things. They've, combined AI knowledge with those physical machines to perform tasks by themselves. For example, they have robots that actually sweep their floor. They have robots that actually help them brush their teeth and many more. Now, when we talk about machine learning is what enables machine to learn from their data, to learn from various data and improve their performance over time. So this is where we talk about of training of AI. They make use of this technique known as machine learning. They learn from data. For example, now I want to enable a machine to be able to distinguish between a tomato and maybe a tomato and a cherry. I feed it data, probably labeled data. I give you pictures that are labeled tomato, pictures labeled cherry, and it works on its own. It learns from those data that I've labeled. It learns from them. Okay, it sees some features, and is able to categorize them and say, okay, this is tomato and this is cherry. So basically, based on the data that you feed it, if you give it a new image, for example, give it a new image of a tomato, not what you've trained it on, a new one that he has not seen before, it's going to be able to recognize it. Why? Because it has been trained on other data. Are we all following? Am I confusing anybody?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
We are following.
All right. So moving on, we have applications of AI, practical applications of AI. The very first one here is spam detection. How does, I recently got a mail and it entered into my spam folder, and I was like, why does this thing go to spam folder? Like, it is not even, it is not a bad mail, it is not a corrupt mail. It's actually a congratulatory message. So why is it going to my spam folder? So I actually had to, check online, why does it go to my phone? So I found out that it's an AI that filters out my email that comes in based on some keywords. So it checks for some words in that mail, the mail that has been sent. It checks for some words, and if that mail actually contains those words, it sends them into the spam folder in your email. Now, another one is chatbots. A lot of companies such as Kuda, ALX, and the likes have been making use of chatbots to make customer services much more better. You can easily group questions that customer frequently ask, that is FAQs, frequently asked questions. You group them, and you feed AI responses data. It learns from those responses and is able to answer users based on their questions. Another application of AI is our virtual assistants, such as Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant. These make use of our voices to understand what we're saying. Now, another example of where we use AI is traffic prediction. This is how Google Maps is able to predict the traffic pattern, how it's able to tell us where there is, traffic. I recently even discovered that Google Map has this feature whereby maybe you don't want to walk, you don't want to use a car, you don't want to use a bike, you want to go through public transport, and it's able to give you junctions to stop I was so surprised. I did not even know that Google Map had that feature. It gave me the list of junctions I would stop to get to where I was going to. Then another application is the language translator. How AI is able to translate our languages in real time. For example, um, you are learning Spanish and you want to translate an English word to Spanish, you use your voice. You translate it. You give AI the word in English and it gives it to you in Spanish. What AI actually does in that instance is that those words that you gave it in English, it translates them to text in English. After translating it to text in English, it then translates it to text in Spanish. That's text to text translation. So after it translates them to text in Spanish, it now gives it to you. It translates text in Spanish to voice in Spanish. I hope I'm not confused everybody. I hope everybody still understands what I'm saying.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Then
now we understand.
okay, that's good. Then the
Yeah.
next one, personalized recommendation. This is how your Spotify is able to suggest some things for you to listen to, from music for you to listen to, based on your preferences, based on what you've been listening to. For example, maybe I search for Minister GUC's music on Spotify. I listen to him more often. Obviously, Spotify know that okay, this Spotify's AI will know that this girl likes Mr. GUC and he will recommend more of his music for me to listen to. So that's what personalized recommendation, is all about. So a summary of this application of AI, we've talked about the spam detection, we've talked about chatbots, we talked about the virtual assistants such as Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant. We talked about the traffic prediction done by Google Map. We talked about the language translator and personalized recommendation. Now, the final thing we're going to talk about is buzzwords in AI. You know, even though we are not data scientists, we are not deep core into AI. That doesn't mean that when people are talking about AI, we shouldn't be able to join in the convo. Especially if you're a networking person, if you love meeting new people and they're talking about AI, yeah, you can be an enthusiast. Of course, you should know some of those words. So the first one here is AI hallucination. And this is actually when AI makes up answers. I was like, why would AI make up answers? There's sometimes when you give AI some questions to answer, and if AI is not able to, is not able to go online and search for those answers, maybe people have not been asking this question, it actually makes stuff up. That's what we call AI hallucination. That's why anytime you're using ChatGPT, Gemini, or Meta, they're always saying that AI is not absolutely correct. That's why often, if you are doing a research, especially research cases, ChatGPT is not always the best choice. Go to Google straight. Look for those those research papers by other people. Another buzzword is black box. So this is when an AI does not show you how it arrives at a conclusion. So there are sometimes when we give AI, let's just say, a massive question, and it just gives you the answer straight up. No workings on how it got there, no explanation, no nothing. And you're like, sometimes it might even skip some steps. That's what we call black box. It doesn't show you how it arrives at the conclusion. It just shows you the final output. And obviously, the opposite of black box is white box. This is another buzzword. This is when an AI actually shows you how it arrives at a conclusion. Even if you give it a quadratic equation, it will explain every step of the way, the type of technique that it's using. Maybe it's using a factorization method and all. It will explain everything to you. Now, another buzzword is deep learning. I've actually mentioned this before when I was talking about neural network. So deep learning is training an AI to reason and retain information like humans. This is like mimicking our human brain. It's actually a subset of machine learning, basically trying to mimic our human brain based on how humans are able to take in information and how they retain information. So another buzzword in AI is deepfake. And deepfake is, it can be used for both good and bad. Deepfake is when you manipulate things like pictures and videos to portray the things that never actually happened. For example, an AI that photoshops your picture on top of another person's body. That's a deep fake. And people are using it for both good and bad. But as AI enthusiasts, we have to use it for good. So most times people use it for photoshopping when they can't, when they don't want to go for a photo shoot. They just replace their head, the other person's head, the other person's body, and all. And the last one is AI generated content. This is actually something that we all have and we all do every day. For example, you want to carry out maybe a research on something, and you told AI to help you generate or to help you rewrite your, like, you use Grammarly, for example, you use Grammarly to rewrite your whatever you have or your write up. You tell Grammarly to rewrite it for you. That is actually an AI generated content. Why? Because you are making use of an AI tool. Now, in this sense, we have AI plus human being. You are actually giving AI what you've done, and AI is helping you probably to reform it if you're using Grammarly. So it's in two ways. And AI generated content is what you generate using an AI tool. Maybe you tell AI to write a poem for you based on this. You've given it your input as a human. Now AI is doing its work as a machine to give you the appropriate output. So sometimes, every time when we refer to, maybe somebody sends you something and you're like, oh, this is AI that did it. Of course, that is an AI generated content mixed with human beings, brain that asks it to do that. So, like we discussed, some of the buzzwords are the AI hallucination, the black box, the white box, the deep learning, the deep fake, and AI generated content. There are also some other buzzwords, but I picked this out for us to discuss upon. And now, thank you very much for listening to the first half of the AI Essentials session. I'll hand over to my partner for the other half.
All right, thank you and good evening, everybody. Can you hear me, please? Hello.
Yeah, I can
Yes,
hear you,
hi.
but
Yes, you can hear.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, please?
We
Yes,
can
loud and
hear
clear.
you.
All right, so I'm about to start my presentation now. So please kindly confirm if you can see what I'm about to present. Thank you. Hold on, please. We are getting there. Please, can you see my screen? Hello.
No, 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 no.
No, okay. Hold on, please. Let me see what is going on.
I feel the reason is because you are on a video call.
Okay, okay. So let me get that one sorted now. Let me get that out of the way. Okay. Are you able to view my screen now?
yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. All right then. Can you still view my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
We
We
can.
can. Yes, we can. Oh, yes, it's better now.
Welcome everybody. Good evening. I'm sorry for the glitch at the beginning. So my name is Guntayo Elijah and I'll be taking AI threats. This is a topic that mostly we do not discuss enough. And please confirm if you can still hear me loud and clear. Hello.
Yes, we
Hi, we
can
can
hear
hear you. I
you.
can hear you.
Okay, so these are the content for today's class. We have cyber attacks, we have data privacy threats, we have bias and discriminations, we have ethical concerns, and then we have AI governance in Nigeria and globally. Remember, I posted today and I was asking if anybody knows that maybe they can arrest anybody that makes like a fake content of them using AI. So let's get straight into it. We'll start with cyber attacks. Cyber attacks in AI threats refers to malicious activities targeting AI systems, data, or models to compromise their integrity, confidentiality, or availability. These attacks can have severe consequences, which include like model stealing, unauthorized access to AI models or algorithms, allowing attackers to use or replicate them. As we might know, like my co-presenter mentioned, we have issues with what's it called? fake deep fakes. The way innovators are not sleeping is the same way those that want to use AI for negative reasons. That's the same way they are working overnight. So these are some of the consequences that it has, like when people attack AI itself, like when people use AI itself to launch attack on itself. And this speaks directly to my next point. That's AI powered attacks. That's using AI itself to launch sophisticated attacks like automated phishing or social engineering. And this is why you should not go online and click on any link you see just because you can, or just because they sent it to you. And then you see some things on online or like Google, they'll be like, okay, click this link to win gifts. You should be very careful of the kind of links that you click, whether they sent it directly to your email, your SMS, or wherever. Can you still hear me, please, and confirm if you are following me?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
Yes, I can hear
We
you.
have we have data poisoning, we have insider threats, we have replay attacks, we have biasing attacks. For insider threats, the reason why I'm picking this what's it called, these topics, I'm not going to talk about everything all at once because I have my slides I have like 19 slides. So what I'll do is I'm going to share this as a PDF after this class so that we don't waste others' time, so we will have time for questions and answer. So we have insider trace to like authorize the personnel manipulating AI system for malicious purposes. In some organizations that like maybe security organization, you have people that even put CCTV on loop. The tools that they use for all these things, they are AI tools. AI has transformed everything. It has made everything easier. And that's the same way people will definitely use it for things that are just simply wrong. So how do we deal with these risks? We have robust data validation and sanitation. We have secure AI model development and deployment. We have regular security audits and testing. We have anomaly detection. And these ones are for people like AI innovators and even we ourselves. But for AI innovators, they have to do all these things to make sure that they curb this risk. We cannot completely wipe them out, but it can be managed, because there are so many people using AI, there are so many users, there are so many innovators, so they have to do all these things. So there are specific security measures that should be put in place, and they should always make sure that these things get done. And that's that for cyber attack. So we'll move straight to data privacy threats. Are you following me, please?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. So we have data privacy threats in AI, and that refers to the risk associated with the collection, storage, and use of personal data in AI system. We know that AI does not just work, like AI will be fed with different data for it to perform the kind of tasks that it does. For what's it called? For Meta AI, for example, the kind of information it gives back to you is the kind of information that it was fed with, the kind of data that it was fed with. It's not just going to, you're not just going to say, okay, please suggest what I can eat this morning. And it's just going to be like, I don't know, you know. If it tells you that okay, you can try maybe cornflakes or akara this morning, it's because AI, it has been told that okay, this is what you can suggest if somebody asks you that what can I eat for breakfast. So the kind of data that it was presented with is the same exact reason, it's the same exact data that it should give back to its users. So we have some of the threats in giving AI data. These are some of the threats. I'm going to list them one by one. We have unauthorized access to sensitive data used in AI systems. We have stolen personal data used for malicious purposes. We have unclear data handling practices in AI system and excessive data storage, increasing the risk of breaches. I'm going to make an example. Today I was on Twitter, so I saw where someone said, okay, they gave AI $100 for it to make a budget for them, and then the AI came up with that's ChatGPT, the 4.0 version, and it came up with something for them to work with. And then somebody else was like, oh, I asked AI for the kind of businesses I can do that can bring me money fast fast, and AI said, okay, I'm not allowed to give you this kind of information because it is illegal. In some cases, if we do not curb the kind of data that we give to AI, you can even ask AI, okay, generate a poem for me. Are you with me, please?
Yes, thank you.
Because I have
Yes.
to make real life scenarios for you to understand what I'm saying. Generate a poem for me, please. And then AI generates that poem. Then you'll be like, okay, make it vulgar. Then if the AI has been fed with vulgar data, like vulgar language, to give you that thing back. Imagine an 8-year-old child using that thing. And it's like, okay, give me, write a vulgar poem for me, and AI actually writes it. It exposes people to a lot of dangers. You understand? So if this AI is properly trained on, it's going to tell you, oh, I'm not allowed to give you vulgar language. I'm not allowed to write vulgar languages in your poem and all of that. And these things are the type of things that are the threats in AI, because some people use AI for good. Even some innovators, they create it for good, and some create it for bad. So for people that have children, kindly make sure you follow up with whatever it is they are consuming on their phone, because some of this AI, they are still not up to par. So we have how to deal with data privacy threats. We have implement robust data protection measures. We have ensuring transparency and accountability. And this is on the side of innovators. And then we have obtain informed consent. Like if you are taking data from somebody else, to avoid plagiarism, they have to, for innovators again, you have to ask. You need to get their copyrights. You need to get their rights for them. You need to get the rights from them to use the data that they have with them in order to input it into an AI system to help people. Then we have anonymized and pseudonymized data. We have regular audit and testing AI systems. We have developing and deploying privacy preserving AI techniques. We have to educate users and stakeholders. This is where I mentioned that, okay, when you have children that just growing. Children are very curious. Even we as adults, we are curious. We have to be very careful of the kind of information that we digest. So you have to educate people on how they can use data and all of that. People that do deep fake, you see some deep fake, it looks real, but when you look in closer, it's not always original. Imagine people doing something with these things, and people have done it. There was an instance. I was in what's it called, in a conference, and then they cited an example of when this Chinese company, the a scammer, made a video call through. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
A scammer made a video call and called people in, like the accounting team, and said, okay, this is what we are going to do now, and then you have to approve of this, what's it called? You have to approve of this amount, and this is the CEO speaking. And because the person in charge of the finance, this person looks like my boss, person speaks like my boss, so I absolutely have no reason to ask them too many questions as to why they're asking me to do these things now. So you need to educate people and stakeholders. That thing is very, very risky, and it can happen to the best of us. So the same way those that are using it for good are not resting, are the same way is the same way that those that are using it for bad are also not resting. So we have to do all these things to make sure that, okay, these threats are off the table. And then I'll move on to the most interesting part, I would say, because this is bias and discrimination. And then bias and discrimination in AI refers to the unfair outcomes of decisions made by AI system due to flawed programming, data, or algorithms. These biases can perpetuate and even amplify existing social inequalities, affecting marginalized groups and type of AIs and discrimination in AI. And they include AI systems and all of that. But before I go into this explanation, I would like for all of us to like make I'm going to give you like a real life example. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
If you are with your phone, you can minimize your phone a bit and then go to Meta AI. Ask it to generate a futuristic image of an African city. Then ask it to generate again a futuristic image of an American city, and look at the differences. When you see the differences, please open your, what's it called, speaker, and let me know what the differences are. uh in Africa, as we all know, most times, let me say, should I narrow it down to Nigeria? We are consumers. Many times we don't do these things the same way we order for, what's it called, you buy import everything from abroad. It's the same way we import technology from abroad too. So many times the people that are doing these things, they are not even well traveled enough for them to know the realities of an African country or the reality of Africa itself. There was a time, I think about last month, I was working on a project. I'm doing a virtual assistant course. So I was working on a project. I wanted to like create something like a video portraying how an interview might go for a virtual assistant. So I started the video. Then I went to CapCut. I wanted to use the text to speech. Everything there was sounding like Tom Jones and what's it called, and Holly. It wasn't sounding African. The voices were not sounding like my voice, and I really wanted it to feel authentic. So I was not able to get any of these things done. It wasn't possible. I left there. I went to Microsoft. What's it called? Clip Champ. That they don't have that feature. So every other one I got, I have to subscribe. The one I managed to subscribe for, the African voice there was sounding like Wakanda, and that's not how we sound in Africa. So now the issue with bias and discrimination is that AI system they reinforce existing beliefs or assumption rather than challenging them. If an AI tool has been fed with the fact that Africa is backward, if you ask it for any image of Africa, it's going to give you a backward image. That's just how it is. It's going to give you a back. You can go on iPad right now. There's an AI to iPad to generate a video of a futuristic, what's it called, image of an African city. The things that you see ruins. You see like a city where there's like a bright light and then there's a desert behind. That might be the reality of Africa at the moment, but futuristic, I'm talking about futuristic. So the kind of information that you feed an AI to is the kind of information that it will give back to people. So imagine people that have never been to Africa at any point in time actually going to maybe like ChatGPT or Gemini or Meta AI and asking it to generate an image of Africa for them, or maybe Lagos itself. And then you'll be surprised at the kind of things that is bringing up. Okay, this is not right. This is not how it is meant to be. And then we have can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Did anybody go to Meta AI to generate the image? Or we didn't
Yes.
bother?
I
Did you go?
actually did. I
Did do.
I I I
Can
checked.
you notice any difference?
In fact, there are difference, but I can't really say much about it now.
I swear.
For now, okay.
Yes.
So moving on, we have what's it called? Biases can be
Oh.
embedded in algorithms, leading to discriminatory decision making. Now let's cite another real life example with this ATS system. Or there are some tools that all these HR people, I don't know if you have any HR person amongst us here. There are some tools that they use, like in the sense that you might send, what's it called? You put your address in your resume, you send it across, and then the software they're using bounces it back. It doesn't even put it on their table because maybe you are from Lafenwa in somewhere in Abeokuta, or maybe you are from somewhere in Imo State that is not so, and they're looking for remote workers. They're just like, okay, we are not taking anybody from this, we are not taking anybody from this place, And these AI tools, regardless of what they have in their resume, sometimes as human beings, we tend to like make exceptions in the sense that you might need someone to do a job for you. You want the person to stay in Lagos, probably because you feel like the electricity in Lagos is good, so they are going to be online every time. But then this person can do the same job. You can see their resume looks really impressive, but because they stay in Akwa Ibom, then you tell your AI that anybody that stays in Akwa Ibom, when anything, please bounce them. I don't want to see them in this interview. I don't want to see them at all. That is another problem entirely. And then in algorithms too, there are so many. Like for example, how algorithm works, or maybe TikTok, Instagram, whatever. It is whatever you're interested in that it will bring. And I've noticed something. If you say you're interested in ginger, it's going to bring you ginger, garlic, and this thing. Some people only want to consume ginger, they don't want to take garlic. And then we have AI system learning from data, which can reflect existing bias if it's not diverse, representative, or inclusive. The same way I mentioned the issue of generating voices, African voices, and this could definitely be as a result of the fact that maybe Africans are not doing enough job in creating AI tools or innovating AI tools that fully represent them. So maybe we can start from somewhere. Maybe one of us should do something to this problem, just maybe. So and then we have many more. We have many more. See here, facial recognition system misidentifying people of color or women. When you try to go to Meta AI again and tell you to generate a picture of a fit woman for you, it's not going to bring a black person first. It's going to bring a white person, probably Chinese or maybe Indian, but mostly white person. So this is not meant to be. It's not meant to be. It's not supposed to be like that, But without specifying, it's just going to, before you can get the picture of like a fit African, you have to specify. And then we have hiring algorithms. I think I've mentioned this one. Thank you. Because I've mentioned this one to like hiring algorithms, discriminating against certain groups or characteristics, credit scoring AI system unfairly penalizing marginalized community. If you watch this film that has this woman in it, I've forgotten the name of the movie. It's one law film like that. So there was a time she handled one case and then the credit scoring system really bounced people out because why? Because this person is black and is from Chicago. That's another problem entirely. And then moving on, we have how to deal with this bias and discrimination, because for every problem there's a solution, and hopefully if it is taken, it works. So this is diverse and representative data is essential. We have regular auditing and testing that can identify biases. We have inclusive design involving diverse perspective in AI development. That is why Africans needs more representation, and maybe some other Asian countries too. But I believe they are even far ahead of us in this whole AI thing. So we have transparency and explainability, like that helps identify biases, and human oversight and accountability ensure AI decisions are fair. So moving on, we have ethical concerns. So there is no way, even when you create something new, people will be like, okay, we have concerns about this thing. Does this thing work like this? Does it do this? Does it do that? So are you following me, please? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we
yes.
can.
All right, thank you very much. So we have ethical concerns, and these ethical concerns in AI refers to moral principles and values that guide the development, deployment, and use of artificial intelligence systems. And some of the key ethical concerns include accountability. Who is responsible for AI decisions and actions? Imagine that you want to create something for people that live in Lagos, and then you're asking somebody that lives in, let me see, Abeokuta, that's Ogun State. You want them to make that, you want them to make that decision. It's not going to work because their reality is not the same thing. So who is doing this thing? Like, who is responsible for AI decisions and action? Who is feeding me data? Who are the set of people that are feeding me data? Are they able to, like, are they marginalizing people? Are they carrying everybody along? Is this thing going to serve the large populace? Is it going to work according to how you want it to work? Is it going to marginalize people? We have that. We have value alignment. That's aligning AI goals with human values and ethics. We are, as human beings, we have values, we have ethics. We don't want to talk about this thing. This AI should not talk about it. We do not move that way. This AI should not move that way. And then we have transparency. That's understanding how AI systems make decisions. Let me set an example here again. You can generate your resume from, what's it called, from Meta AI, for example. That's the closest AI that we have, because it's there, is on our WhatsApp, is on our Instagram. Send it a prompt and be like, I'm applying to a job. My name is Olaide. I'm applying to a job. This is what I have. That's the information it's going to give. It's not going to give you more than that. But when you send another prompt and you're like, okay, generate this for me, this is my information, these are my skills, these are my skills, it's going to give you a detailed one. So you need to understand how this AI system, how they make decision. It depends on the prompt you give it. That's the prompt you give it determines the kind of information that it sends back to you. So we have human impact. That's mitigating negative impacts on employment, society, and human interaction, human relationships. And that's that about that. So okay, I think we've spoken about this. This came in double. So we have proactive measures and awareness can help us mitigate ethical concerns and ensure, oh, sorry, and ensure and all of that. So we have AI governance in Nigeria. This was where I mentioned that, okay, can you arrest somebody that makes a deep fake video of you? Can you arrest somebody that that puts an information out that you don't need it to be on any AI platform? Can you arrest them? We have bodies in Nigeria guiding the use of AI. We have the NITDA. They regulate AI development and use in Nigeria. We have Nigerian Communications and Commission. All these people, the Ministry of Science, Nigerian AI community, academic and research, what's it called, platforms and forums, they do all these things. So for us to have all these things, we definitely have what's it called? We definitely have laws guiding the deployment and use of AI in Nigeria. So you can definitely forget the lawlessness in this country. We know that everything, you'll be like, oh, this country that does not work. Simple things there, they don't work. So just forget that, leave it aside. If somebody makes a deep fake video of you tomorrow, somebody goes online and go and post something that you did not say, and then you are seeing yourself in that video, it looks like you, but you'll be like, the time that this person posted this thing, I was in a party, I was the one who went there. I did not say this thing. Don't be like, okay, but I don't feel like there's any rule. Just arrest that person first and make sure you get a very good lawyer so that they will not cheat you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. And then there's what's it called? There's AI. There we have AI governance like globally. We have OECD principles in AI that encourages responsible AI development and use. We have Uni Global Pulse AI for Humanity that leverage AI for sustainable development. We have the EU, that's the European Union High Level Expert Group on AI that develops guidelines for trustworthy AI. We have IEE Global Initiative on Ethics and Autonomous and Intelligent System that establish ethical guidelines. And then we have AI Institute, that's the research and advocates for AI accountability. So that and many more. And then we have challenges in AI governance rather. We have regulatory frameworks lagging behind in AI advancement. We have limited expertise and capacity in AI governance. This particular one, this second point resonates with Africa a lot because we have many cyber attacks when it comes to AI in Africa. You see all these markets now, be like when you try to sensitize them, just make it easy and tell them that Emma, don't click on any link, oh, they will take all the money in your account, oh, and all of that. Is because we have less and according to research and according to and information that I got in one of the conferences that I attend, in like Africa, I think according to what I read, we have like less than, you know, 1,000 cyber. Is it? I'm trying to remember what they call this. Is it cyber something something? I'm so sorry for that. So we have less of those people that are working. So imagine that's why sometimes you say, okay, Zenith Bank is bad, oh, Zenith Bank they don't have many hands on deck, oh, they are taking my money away. This is because they are limited expertise and capacity in AI governance and AI use itself. And then we have to balance innovation with regulation. You can make anybody can wake up tomorrow, anybody that has the knowledge can wake up tomorrow and create an AI tool, and then it comes with no regulation. Just put it out there, people start using it for whatever they want to. Go on Google, search for whatever you want to search for AIs that can generate deep fake videos. So different ones be like no license, nothing, just out there. People use it for different bad things, and we have people that use it for yahoo yahoo and the likes. And then we have ensuring inclusivity and diversity in AI decision making. This one speaks directly with the bias that comes with the use of bias and discrimination in AI. And then we have addressing global AI governance inconsistencies. And then to address these challenges, there are things that we can do. So to address these challenges, we can encourage international cooperation and knowledge sharing. There are so many gifted people in Africa. There are so many gifted people in Nigeria. They should definitely get their hands on deck. We need something that represents us. Imagine going to CapCut or trying to use many apps and then you are hearing voices that does not sound like yours. The ones that you get is sounding like Wakanda. Those voices are very exaggerated. It does not sound normal. On that day, I had to ask a colleague of mine to record his voice. Imagine that stress when I could have just simply used an AI tool. And then we have developed context specific AI regulations. These laws should not just be vague, they should be very established. When you are giving us a law, don't just make it vague, don't just make it look like okay, it's just meant to be there. Let us be able to have access to, let everybody be aware, let everybody be informed, and let us be able to use it. And then we have to foster collaboration between governments, industries, and academia. Like I said, there are so many talented people, and then they should be put on board immediately. We should invest in AI education and capacity building, and then we should promote transparency and accountability in decision making. There should be no marginalization of any group: Asians, Africans, Black people, yellow people, blue people. Everybody should be considered when we are making decisions for the data that we are going to feed any AI tool or any AI innovation. So that will be all for today's class. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have anything like questions and contribution. That will be all for today. And let me know if you've learned anything new today in our class. Can you people hear me?
Yes, mom. Yes, mom.
Yes, we can.
We are done for the class, so just let me know if you have any questions so we can take questions and answer. And
Hello.
my colleague is still here, so we are both taking
Hello.
questions.
Hello. Good evening. This is Victoria. I'm joining from the US. So I have a question. So those of us that own a small business or that we are running a business, what can we do to protect our information so our business information and what we do is not sold on the black market or is not out there for use?
Okay, first things first, you get a copyright, like a law. I don't know how that works in America or all of that. Get a license. Once you are registered, your business is registered. You really cannot fight all these things until you come across where your information is being used online. Try as much as possible to guide your information, whatever it is you're putting out as a business. I don't know what kind of business, whether it is a digital business or maybe you have a physical store or anything like that. But make sure you have your copyright laws in check. Make sure you have your lawyers and all of that. You have don't just be like, okay, I'm just starting a small business, so I don't have to go through any rigorous system. Make sure you go through because the way people can really manipulate information and all of that, the way they can portray your business in the wrong light, it is scary. So I feel like that's the best thing that you can do for that's for a business, small business owner. You can use many what's it called AI tools for your business, right? So just make sure that you are very careful with the information you are feeding it. You are very careful with the information you are putting out, and that's all I can say for that. Are you pleased with my answer?
Yes, thank you. The other question I have is how reliable is TikTok? Because they keep saying that when you set up a TikTok account, sometimes they can, jack your account. So what can one do to prevent that from happening?
Okay, if you go on TikTok, there are so many ways. There are so many, what's it called? There are so many. You can go to the settings. I'm not really conversant with TikTok. I put out content there many times. You understand? You can go to the settings. I think they have like the same way WhatsApp has this three-step authentication process. I think TikTok has the same thing too. So go through the process. Try your best to when you have silly comments on your page, delete them and make sure yourself you don't go ahead and post anything silly on somebody else's page lest you have your page hijacked. But make sure you go through the what's it called, the authentication process to keep your account safe. So are we pleased with the answer? We have 7 minutes left, so let's
Yes, thank
keep
you.
it coming and very fast, please.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions or contribution? We have 7 minutes left for this class.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mr. Wisdom.
Yeah, thank you, Ma. So, Ma, what can you say about people making use of AI in the newsroom, probably for generating of news stories and other stuff in the newsroom?
Okay. For that, before you make use of any AI tool, please make sure it's not the only thing you're using for your research. Creatives make use of AI too. Many times if I want to post on LinkedIn, I'll go to my Meta AI because that's my best friend. I'm going to type it there, okay, what can I put on my LinkedIn today? And then it's going to give me a function. I'm going to be like, no, this thing does not really sound like me. Go ahead and make research, gather your many information from many places, begin to piece them together bit by bit. AI is your friend, but AI is not going to do every single human activity for you. There's AI and then there's human activity. So you have to add human activity to like every the human touch to any activity or anything that you do. So for those people using AI majorly, there's going to be lapses. You feel it when you read some post on LinkedIn. You know that this is somebody has written this thing with AI, and it's always obvious. Same way if somebody sends something to you, it is written with AI, so it is very obvious, and that will not work in every time. AI is not going to take our jobs. You just have to whatever AI gives you, you have to humanize it. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, you take information from different places. You can take information from like 4 or 5 different AI tools. Then go online, make your research. Avoid plagiarism by all means. If you have to cite something like a reference, you do so. Then that's how you get that done. Did I answer your question or did I not?
Thank you. You tried. Thank you.
All right. And if you still have more, you can drop it on the group. I believe we have many other techies that can, answer your question in case I did not get it very well. We have 5 minutes to the end of this class. Do we have more questions, contributions, or corrections? Any that? Hello.
Okay, I think if anybody
Sorry,
has.
just to add to what you said,
Okay, let me just quickly just add to what you said. For example, in the newsroom, maybe you've gathered your research and you have accurate news, and you want to relate to the people in a particular way, and you are not able to do so. You can make use of some AI tools, such as Grammarly, to help you to, send your news in such a way, in a particular tone, probably in a confident tone or in a friendly tone. It has a way for helping you do that. So the thing is, you just have to find accurate news, and AI can actually help you to, relate in the way you want.
Okay, all right, thank you. So, do you still have time?
We have 4 minutes left, Mr. Wisdom. If you keep us here, that means you create another link and you share for everybody.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry about that. Sorry.
Yes.
I wanted to ask another question, sure, but no problem. It's
We
all
can be
fine.
fast with it. Let's see if there's any way we can answer your question very quickly. And if there's more to discuss, we have the imaginary what's it called, group chat where you can
Okay.
talk with us and then we can.
Yeah. Do you think that we have AI language barrier in the newsroom? Now, what I'm trying to say is that we have, like, a country like Nigeria, we have different languages, and people make use of these different languages for probably writing of news or for reporting. So, and then we have some AI tools. I think most of these AI tools kind of like focus on the major languages like English, Chinese, Japan, and German. So how can we like fix that? Because we have some other underrepresented regions like
Okay.
Nigeria now. Some news
This
stories they
is
make use
where
of.
Okay, please, I'm going to come in very quickly, Mr. Wisdom, because of our time. I think this is where I spoke about the bias and discrimination of like the marginalized people. That's why I said many of the people that create these things, they are not even well traveled enough. You'll be surprised that some people don't even know where Nigeria is. You meet some white people and they'll be like Africa. You see, there's Nigeria, they'll be like there's Nigeria, there's Africa, but to them, Africa is one, Nigeria, everything all together. So this is where we need more African hands, like many African talents to like get on board, create something that speaks directly to us. I told you I meant to CapCut. I was trying to generate like a text to speech feature of an African voice and I could not get it. The ones that I got, they were sounding like Wakanda, which is not how we sound. Do you understand? So we have to like, if we want something for ourselves, we will not just only be consumers. We have to go ahead and create something that resonates with us. Please, if we have more to discuss, we'll go to the imaginary group. This thing, we have 2 minutes left for this. What's it called? The call. Are we good? Is everybody okay with this class, or should we move it to the imaginary this in case we still have many more questions?
Yeah, thank you. We can move to the imaginary group then.
All right.
Okay, thank you so
So
much,
our
everybody.
Oga,
Yeah,
over
thank
to you,
you.
ma.
Thank you so much, everybody. I think Praise has
Yeah,
something
that,
to say. Praise, if you have question or anything, please let's move to the imaginary platform. Let the learning continue here. Thank you.